guys, we're going to be playing some Battlefield 6. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of my opinion on the game itself. Now, this is a pre-recording, and I know obviously it's not going to be something that you guys might have thought, oh my god, he's still playing the beta. No, the beta's ended, so don't worry about that. If you guys do want to see more Battlefield 6 videos before the release of the game, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and let's see if we can try and get this video above 10 likes. That'd be cool. But guys, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the weapons, the feel of the game, and exactly what I like and what I don't like. I will also discuss in another video what weapons I prefer, what weapons work, how I think this game will look. Good double kill, by the way, that was pretty cool. We got a triple coming right now, nice. But yeah, I want to discuss, okay, 4 kills, not bad. I want to discuss firstly the weapons, how do the guns feel, and honestly, there's certain parts which I like, certain parts I don't like. Now obviously, this is a bit more of a free-flowing game that allows PC players and console players to be a lot more effective in just having that sort of free-flowing of aiming and movement. Now it does give off that feel with the sliding, the diving, similar to the Call of Duty vibe. Now, do I think or expect, soldiers to be doing this sort of movement? Obviously, it's any sort of movement that you could kind of think of, just to make it a little bit more advanced and feel real. Now, do I think some of the weapons need to be, adapted? Yes and no. I think once you get used to the scopes, the attachments, does it make the guns any better? I would say so. Makes you feel a little bit more in control by just changing the scope, I feel. In terms of the bullet changes, the sort of control with the guns itself, it does help, and you will see quite a big difference in that sense. Now the game itself, I would definitely give it, in terms of, physical, sort of first glance, probably a solid 8 or 9 out of 10. It's very, very appealing to look at in terms of what you can do on the actual maps, the destruction that you can, inflict. But then when it comes to certain parts of gameplay, I will say there are things that need to change. Now, I would like to start off with what I first saw and felt in this game is that, when you're getting shot at, how quickly it feels when you die or get shot at. Now, from what I've seen, it takes around 4, sometimes even 3 gunshot hits, or even 1 with a shotgun on a good day. Now, when I use the weapons, because I am working on a PlayStation controller and not a PC mouse, I am having to see my gun, shoot in a straight, accurate sort of shot. However, I mean, look at that. That was 2 hits and I'm dead. And that was with an SMG. And you'll see this in quite a lot of the future videos, probably. And I will say that is one of the reasons in which I feel that Battlefield needs to allow you, because I noticed this in the game itself, there is no way to turn off crossplay. Now, I know some of you guys are probably aware, crossplay, in my opinion, has a lot of people miffed and annoyed with certain games, with certain controls and certain movements, because every console, every game style is different to a different console. Now for me, being a PlayStation player, it just seems very basic for how I play, just because I'm a little bit older. I am not used to these new sort of adaptive sort of movements and things like that. That aiming was terrible. But not only that, when you see PC players that have got the most ridiculous sensitivity, the most insane movement, but not only that, the way that they adapt their aiming to be so accurate, it actually is painful to sit idly by and watch. Now I can honestly say, when I use something like a shotgun or an AR, I am using it as like the most basic form, and I will say I'm not the best person with aiming weapons, shotguns, you name it, but I will try my best. Now when it comes to shotgun, sometimes you'll get a one-shot kill just like that, and that can be down to, you know, how accurate was the shot, or how far away were you from that shot as well. So just like that, I'm quite far away, okay? Now whether or not he was already damaged is unknown. However, in certain instances when I use the shotgun, it is very temperamental with when you're pointing directly at someone. You don't really need to aim, but I'm just using it because I think I'm getting used to the Call of Duty style, and I think that is obviously taken a couple of seconds for me to make that, you know, initial kill, which obviously I'm learning from and adapting to. Now, PC players have always had that sort of option to make it easy to cheat. Now there was an article that actually came out recently about PC players and console players globally. When the first beta came out in the first weekend, Battlefield 6 had over 300,000 people banned for aimbotting and cheating. Now, in my opinion, because gaming has become a massive global phenomenal sort of change up. Now, the first kill on that one was pretty cool. Second, I just got absolutely rinsed. It's more competitive, I will say, and it is harder for people to game and feel like they can, you know, enjoy or compete. Now, I don't class myself as a high sort of gamer and things like that. I enjoy the gaming, and I've enjoyed it from a very young age. I was probably up there with a good sort of semi-pro Call of Duty player back in the day. Obviously now, definitely not even close to even like dealing with amateurs to a certain degree. Now I don't have that time to spend on playing these types of games. I have a sort, you know, a minimalist sort of IQ in terms of movement and things, but you know, as if I played more, I would, you know, obviously take it more seriously. But shots like that should have been a kill. Shots like that, again, there's moments in this game where shots aren't registered, or the aiming's off, or the damage isn't quite there. Now, I will say, I am doing a lot better than what I had done in previous matches, and I'd probably say this is going well for me so far in terms of being revived and not, you know, letting myself actually get bled out. Now, the shotgun, probably the most overpowered in certain instances. I will also say, when I use the SMG, it can feel like sometimes it's effective in close range. However, from certain distances, the bullets will spread more because it's a rapid fire. It doesn't feel like there's a huge amount of recoil, which feels great in terms of actually the bullets moving. Okay, that was nice, but you know, some of them might have actually should have hit first time. Shotgun, like I said, the first sort of shot overpowered as hell in terms of the damage. You would think certain distances like that, I should have at least got some sort of damage out of that with the shotgun. It feels like to me when certain people use the same weapons I am, that I die quicker. It could be the fact that it is just a little bit more intense. Now I will buy this game just because if there's hardcore involved, I will, you know, I will deal with that and enjoy that any way I can. Now, in terms of spawn points, are they the best? No, but that is down to the person that is nearby. Now, if you spawn with your squad mates, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to just run into an ambush. So, choose wisely. You cannot complain about spawn points. Now, in terms of obviously the feel of the sort of reviving and the timings and things, I would definitely say it's a good game. There's a lot of progression that will hopefully change along the way, but as of the beta, I do feel that there could be huge improvements with making it somewhat simpler for console players to have that odd little aimbot feel. Now, I don't say it like, oh, we deserve that. Obviously, PC players have their own sort of ways and techniques to control weapons on a mouse more so than an analog stick and some buttons. It is a little bit different. The playstyles are always different, and the speed of things. Right, that should have been a kill, that should have been a kill, but third time lucky. There's things like that where I just don't think some shots are quite aligned or not synced up. And I do want to press on the amount or how often I feel like I'm getting 2-shotted or 3 bullets and I'm dead. I've had it in the past where I'll use a sniper, hit a body shot, upper body or headshot, and it just wouldn't register. But even when someone hits me in the body first time, I'm dead. But for me, it's the other way round. If I hit them in the body, you know, I only take a certain amount of damage. And just for instance here, how much I shot in that exact same spot and how much damage it inflicted, I had to reload and go through another magazine until that happens. Now, yes, you do have to be more sort of reserved with your ammunition, depending on if you've got someone near you that can do that. That was a cool pistol kill. I definitely think the idea of using a shotgun and a AR at the same time in the same class is good in certain aspects, but I think if you want to use a shotgun, it should be that right. Okay, that took way too long just to get that kill. Okay, that's a straight headshot. But then again, I would also say that if the shotgun was its own class, AR and a shotgun I think can be a bit much. And I think it all comes down to, you know, whether or not they're going to change the ability to turn crossplay off. I've always felt that since crossplay has come onto the scene of gaming, it has definitely taken a lot of fun out of certain games that I'd probably be able to enjoy a little bit more. I definitely see, in terms of hacking in certain modernised games nowadays, there is a lot higher amounts of cheating in gaming just to, one, level up, to be the, you know, sort of gaming lobby brain rot that everybody seems to love when they're doing it, but hate it when they have to experience it. I'm probably gonna die here. See, that should have been a kill. That should have been a kill, I'm sorry, but if we VAR'd that, it would definitely be a kill. Yeah, like, I'm directly on his body there, aiming in on him point blank. So, I feel in certain aspects that the game could do better. Shooting at him then, finally got the kill. And there's certain aspects where I just feel like, you know, it takes 2 or 3 hits and I'm dead. Now, whether or not it's something that I'm doing wrong or something that is just, you know, happening to everyone. In terms of the positive sides, I definitely think the map aspect, the sort of gun feel is good. They do feel good. I like the sort of stealthiness. I love the chaos of it all. It is just all-out warfare, which we know and love from Battlefield, always, making a dent on that side. Obviously, being a tank, you're going to just get one massive one-shot and die just because of the bullets. But then again, it is a tank. However, I do notice if you use an RPG or a launcher, I've done it on several occasions where I've done it point blank to someone, like using that, and it's had no effect on that enemy target and just done no damage. Now, I should have got a kill on that one, but finally get a kill there, which thank God happened. But all in all, I think as time goes on, there will be a little bit more, hopefully, stricter rules, more bans on the cheating side. It used to be that people used to be scared of cheating just because it was a lot more permanent. I think nowadays the fact that certain people can just pick up a game, play for free, cheat on one account, and then all of a sudden they just set up a new account, and there used to be a lot more technical rules to it. Like if you got banned on something, then you would actually be banned, and it would be very hard for you to get back into that game. But nevertheless, is this the game that is going to be known as the COD killer? In my opinion, I don't think COD is going to be dead after this. I think in Black Ops 7 they need to make it a priority that they don't focus so much on cosmetics and skins. The first shot should have got him. Can't lie. Whether or not this is something that they expand on with Battlefield, with Search and Destroy, Domination, Team Deathmatch, they do have two of those out of, they don't have Search and Destroy from what I saw there. See the distance on that kill that he used a shotgun. Now as I can see there, he does have attachments on his shotgun. Now that does help. However, I then later realised I don't have any attachments to my shotgun because I just never bothered. But then again, I was new to the game and I didn't go down, didn't die, so that doesn't count as a death. But I think as we learn more about these sort of games, what will benefit the players, what will make them better, what will make them enjoy the game more, I think a lot of people need to give games a chance until they can really critique it. I definitely think it has so much potential to be up there as one of the best FPS games of 2025, going into 2026 shortly. But things like that, I mean, that took 3 hits. Obviously, 2 shots from the front, and then one guy just shot me in the back. The death speed is ridiculous, I will say. It doesn't really give you a chance to move about to get out of these situations. I mean, the amount of times that you just can spawn in at any point and then just die straight off the bat. I think there needs to be just a direct sort of landing spot where you're in your own zone, which they do provide in the game. But like I said, you take that risk when you join your teammates in that area, so there's no guarantee. Okay, that was just ridiculous how quickly I died there. Battlefield and Call of Duty, similar in terms of FPS shooters, but different in terms of sort of game styles to a certain degree, as well as the sheer vast numbers in Battlefield. Now, do I think this will be something that will overtake Call of Duty? For a lot of people, yes, it will. It's more serious, there's soldiers, there's no animated characters, there's no over-exaggerated skins or camos, and to be honest, people can really enjoy just an all-out brawl and just full-on warfare. There's a lot more going on, there's a lot more to it, all this floor damage and buildings going down, it just feels hectic, and some people love that. I myself do enjoy it. I knew that guy was still going to be there, so I definitely wanted to kill him there, so that was good. And to be honest, once you get used to the guns feel great. And honestly, I don't think it'll be a COD killer, but I definitely think it's just nice to have a difference in Call of Duty and Battlefield. You can go on Battlefield for the more serious warfare games, and then go on to zombies with Call of Duty, so that will still be there. But all in all, I'll definitely give this game, especially for the beta, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10 as of right now. I still got a lot to explore when the game comes out and actually give this game an actual chance. But I want to know your thoughts, guys. If you do want to see more, like I said, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and like I said, let's see if we can get more than 10 likes on this video. Really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Cheers, guys.